During your IT career, you're going to reach a point where you're going to need to decide if you go the path of a manager or the path of an individual contributor. And this decision can substantially impact how many opportunities that you have in the rest of your career, as well as how much money you'll have the opportunity to earn as well. So let me tell you about my experience making the decision to pursue the path of manager and then later IT executive versus the path of a specialist and individual contributor within a very specific discipline, and how you can make that decision for yourself. So my name is John. This is the Tech Director YouTube channel. Please do like the video, subscribe to the video channel, comment below with any topic you'd like me to discuss with you. As I mentioned, I've been a manager and an individual contributor prior to being a manager in IT organizations, as well as an executive as well. And I want to share my experience with you and help you maximize your career earnings. So I do offer coaching and consultancy packages. Please review my website. You'll find it in the link below. Anyway, let's get to the topic at hand, which is how do you decide if you're going to be a manager or not, and why do you need to make that decision? So the first thing to know, it's a two-way door. It's a door you can go through and then come back around and walk out of it again if it's not for you. So don't feel like this is a decision that you cannot unmake. You can unmake this decision. Let's first define the term manager. I'm broadly speaking about a technical manager or a product manager. I'll extend it to project manager, but really I'm talking more about a role where you have a responsibility to manage the work of others versus an individual contributor where you're responsible for your work and managing your work, and less so the work of others, including the HR responsibilities of performance reviews and people management. Let's talk money. Are you going to make more money as a manager, or are you going to make more money in an individual contributor role? So as a broad generalization, managers make more money than individual contributors, but there are individual contributors and pathways within an individual contributor's career where you can earn as much as a manager, more than a manager, more than any manager or technology executive. So let's get specific about what we're talking about. There are individual contributor manager level jobs. So this in the same pay band as a manager, there'll be equivalent individual contributors. Let's call it junior executive level, at a director level. So these would be roles like solution architect or enterprise data architect. It might be solutions architect or lead solutions developer. You could even extend it into a technology role that's building a product as chief engineer. And that could be an individual role because of the skill set of that person and the desire of that person to not have actual HR responsibilities. They will oversee all those responsibilities with another team of people that'll manage the staff that does it. But what I will say is there are more opportunities for people who are willing to manage others. So in the organization I work in terms of director level roles within technology, there's more directors that have teams that they have to manage than there are individual contributor roles at that director level. So I think that there are more opportunities to make money if you are willing to take on a manager, director level role of responsibility for others than there are opportunities to make that equivalent money on your own. Of course, it's totally dependent on your specialization, your skills, your experience, and the organization you work in. But generally speaking, there's more opportunities if you're willing to take on management of a team. So why do they make generally more money than individuals? It's because you're making yourself accountable for the work of others. And when others are doing the work, your ability to get things done is just exponentially greater. The challenges of managing a team warrant a higher level of compensation. It's not easy to manage people, especially multi-generation workforces like we have today, of people nearing the time in their careers where they're exiting and people entering the business world, that there are two different worlds that those people are living in, and you have to manage them both. And you need different skills. You got to develop more skills than just a specialization in an individual contributor role. So what are the factors you need to consider when you're making this decision? So number one thing, can you remove yourself from hands-on keyboard? Can you do that? Or are you, no, I need to be hands-on keyboard. I want to be in the systems. I want to know exactly what's going on. If you're wanting to be hands-on keyboard and in the systems, individual contributor roles are going to be more aligned with your skills and your desires of what you want out of a job. The more members of a team you have, the larger your team, the less time you have to actually get hands-on with any tools. I have a team today in my corporate job. I do not log into the systems that we manage. Like, it sounds terrible. There are people on the team that do that. That's what we have them for. There's multiple people that manage those systems. I'm accountable for their responsibilities. They need to log into the systems. They need to manage the systems. They need to develop products delivered to market. I'm accountable for their work, but I can't do their work. If you can't make that mental break of, I'm going to lead a team that are going to do things that I myself can't even do, it's individual contributor. That's where you would more likely find happiness in your career. People management is a big thing. You've got to decide, am I going to take on the stress, the burden, but also have the privilege of leading people, being a people manager? It's a duality in that role of, it's incredibly hard. People's lives are messy, and you have to be able to roll with the punches of what's going on with their lives and what they can bring to the job at any given time, and try and course correct and support all the commitments your team has made. You got to keep people from being burnt out. You've got to deal with their stress. You're going to have stress of, oh my God, we said that project was going to be done in March. It's April. It's still not done. What am I going to do? Those are all things you need to be able to deal with and manage, even when you're not the one delivering the end results. So you need to spend some time thinking about, am I willing to take on those challenges? That's what a manager is. There's someone that is willing to help lead a team to deliver good quality work that you yourself are not doing. Now, there are different levels of managers. Let's call it a player coach, a technical manager. That's a very hands-on role. That could be somebody that's managing, let's call it a data warehouse product, and they deliver data products, data feeds, and automations and analyses that the business can use to drive intelligent decisions. And they may be doing some of that work themselves and then coaching up people in their team on, this is how you do it. But eventually that team's going to get so big, you're not going to be able to do it, or you're going to want to make that next jump where you're now a manager of managers. You can't be in the system delivering work when you start moving up the corporate ladder that way. So, do you have the ability to handle the stress of being accountable for work that you don't do? That's the number one question you need to ask yourself. Number two, do I have an interest in building skills that are needed to manage people? Team building, people management, communication, budgeting. People are doing the work, but you've got to manage the structure in which they do that work and how they report to you on where they are in doing the work. And then I would say this is the most important one. Do you have a career aspiration to be an executive? If you want to run an entire IT department, or if you want to play a supporting role in a large organization, you're going to need managerial experience. So if you say yes to 2 out of those 3 questions, I think you should give management a try. I personally find it difficult, but very rewarding, especially when you see people advance their careers, or you help them through a difficult personal time by managing work in a way that reduces the stress on that person. I would really encourage you, if you're on the fence, go for it. Just go for it. It's a 2-way door. You can always walk back through that door. Thanks for spending your time here. Please do subscribe and comment below. Thank you.